D-Lo to Phoenix, it's confirmed.
No.
No, Espo, not today. Save that for tomorrow.
Sorry.
Tomorrow.
I got back into the groove.
Yeah,
so.
tomorrow though.
Okay.
You're one step ahead of us, but I like where your head's at. Welcome in, everybody, to the PHNX Suns Podcast. I'm Lindsay. That's Gerald. That's Espo. Shout out to all you early birds in the chat. Leo, Steven, Joe, Lonnie, Marco. I love your comment. Said, dread it, run from it. Destiny still arrives. D-Lo will be a son.
No, Marco, no.
Marco, my guy. Yes, we are going to get into some D-Lo, Devin Booker shenanigans later in the show. But first, before we do that, we do have some actual news to talk about.
First, though, isn't it nice to not need a point guard that desperately anymore?
Yeah.
We can get into it later.
How the turntables. The Phoenix Suns have announced their coaching staff around head coach Mike Budenholzer. So they have named Chad Forcier, David Fizdale, Vince Lagarza, Mike Hopkins, Brent Barry, James Posey, Chasen Allen, and Skylar Rimmer as assistant coaches. Now, we have talked a lot about these guys as the rumors have started to kind of trickle out, but it is officially official. This is the coaching staff heading into this year. From first glance, I'm happy with it. And especially as we've kind of done a little bit of research on these guys, seems like they each bring a little bit something unique, something special, if you will. Shall we go around the room and talk about them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure. Everybody knows my stance on assistant coaches, but yeah, let's do it.
They do make a difference, whether you want to believe it or not.
They do.
They do. They play a very important role. Gerald, who do you want to start with first?
Yeah, let's do Chad Forcier first. We've talked about some of these guys, but just as a brief overview, Forcier has 23 years of experience as an assistant. He spent a couple of seasons with the Bucks under Mike Budenholzer. He also was a fellow assistant with Bud at the Spurs for about 9 seasons. He's coached under or with Greg Popovich, Rick Carlisle, George Karl, Frank Vogel, Tim Gergerich, Terry Stotts, and Dwayne Casey. And our fun fact about him, he actually struck up his friendship initially with Mike Budenholzer in Honolulu when Bud was an observer at the Pete Newell Big Man Camp, where Forcier worked for 3 summers between 1997 and 2000. He said, were it not for my relationship with Bud, I'd have not had the door open in San Antonio. So basically a friendship at some random basketball camp in Honolulu led to him getting hired by the Spurs.
I love this, and I need more.
Yeah.
I need more. Now that we have this fun fact and this little nugget of information, I feel like I need you to ask Bud about this.
Okay.
They found love in a hopeless place.
Is
Honolulu
Honolulu a hopeless place?
Big man camp sounds like a hopeless place.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay, that's fair. I was like, I feel like Honolulu is a pretty good place. So, yeah,
Look,
I don't know, maybe.
Look, Vince Lagarza is the next guy we got to talk about. We got to know him in Vegas. Good guy.
Yeah.
I found it interesting, though. I didn't realize that he and Mike Budenholzer actually started working together in 2013 in Atlanta. He was Budenholzer's player development guy. Since then, he spent 4 seasons with Utah as the director of player development, and then also as an assistant coach with the Bucks during the 2022-23 season with Budenholzer. It speaks to their willingness to really try to get more out of younger guys in terms of a guy with this much focus on development. And he went to the Miami University, totally different than the University of Miami. He's a 3-year team captain there. And fun fact, he dressed as Chuck E. Cheese as a job when he was in high school as the rat. Chuck E. Cheese, yeah.
Is this a truth or a lie?
It's the truth.
That's amazing.
That's fascinating.
I love this. Chuck E. Cheese used to be such a fun place.
We're bringing it with the fun facts.
I know. Listen, we are going to kind of skip over David Fizdale because we all know David Fizdale, been there, kind of appreciate that he is back and still with the Suns, but like, I think we all are pretty familiar with his game.
20 years of assistant coaching experience and head coaching experience, 2-time NBA champ. No fun fact, so we'll just take that for data.
You beat me to it. I knew you were going there. Oh, good.
But
All right,
next up on our list, we've got Mike Hopkins. So Hopkins spent the last 7 seasons as the men's basketball head coach at the University of Washington. He's a 2-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year. He has spent over 30 years total in college basketball, but he also has a little bit of experience with NBA players, serving as a court coach for multiple USA basketball teams. Now, I think that kind of alludes to maybe working like warm-ups before games, not exactly on a coaching staff when it comes to that, but the time that he did spend there was for the USA men's national teams at the 2012 and 2016 Summer Olympic Games.
Okay.
Fun fact, he shares a name with an astronaut who has spent 168 days in space. So shout out to Mike Hopkins.
Wow.
Both of them.
Google's a hell of a drug.
Listen, I had a hard time finding a fun fact about our guy Mike Hopkins.
So
but
I found the funnest one possible.
I found the funnest one possible. Okay, but when it does come to Mike, it was interesting. Obviously, he's a college basketball guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
No real NBA experience here. But I do think that this could be really valuable because we are actually investing in the youth now.
Mm-hmm.
We have younger players on the squad who are fresh out of college. He could be a really great asset for some of those younger guys and helping them develop.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we got Brent Barry.
Who?
Brent Barry. We got 2-time NBA champion with the Spurs in 2005 and 2007, which means he was there until 2008. So he did play under Chad Forcier for a season in San Antonio. Obviously the son of Hall of Famer Rick Barry. His stepmother, Lynn Barry, was also an accomplished hooper in college. He was obviously a broadcast personality, play-by-play guy for TNT. He had a segment on the starters called The Bone Zone because his nickname is Bones, which is just fantastic content right there.
Can we make that come back? I feel like we need that to come back.
The return of the Bone Zone?
Yes.
Or we could do Get Boned.
Can we make that a thing here?
I think we might have to now.
Yeah. I don't think it's an option anymore.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Does Bud let his assistant coaches on Mike?
Maybe.
Brent, I mean, we don't have to ask him anything Suns related. We can just do ridiculous stuff.
Brent Barry, if you want to come on the show,
I think we're going to make it a thing.
We got a Bone Zone segment lined up for you. Lots of fun facts about him. Obviously, he is coming from the Spurs. He's been a VP of basketball operations in San Antonio since 2018. He spent the last 2 years as the GM of their G League team. So he does have some experience on the coaching side as well, or on the personnel side. But he also played for Oregon State in college, which is interesting because that's where Forcier got his first assistant coaching job. They weren't there at the same time, but a lot of ties between this coaching staff and all of these different paths that they've gone on.
So you're telling me the chemistry and continuity is already there?
No, but it could
Bingo.
The Bone Zone, brought to you by Manscaped. Jason Allen next.
Yes.
Jason
Not
Allen.
related to Grayson Allen, even though it sounds alike.
Sad.
He was actually the head coach of the Wisconsin Herd, the G League affiliate for the Milwaukee Bucks from 2021 through 2024. So there's your Mike Budenholzer connection there. Also was an assistant coach in the G League for the Long Island Nets, lazy name, the Herd. And the best name in the G League, the Capital City Go-Go.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is
I'm
one
on
of my
board with
favorites.
that.
And then also another guy that played 4 years of college ball at Northeastern University. The fun fact, while he was the head coach of the Herd, he was dating Miss Wisconsin Cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Wisconsin
Yeah,
Cheese.
it's a pageant apparently that they hold that has to do with all the dairy farmers. It's given based on that. It's given through the Dairy Farmer Association.
Did she win
of
a
Wisconsin.
lifetime prize of cheese?
I don't know. I didn't get that far into it.
I figured out what my
A
next career
lifetime
move is
supply
going
of Wisconsin cheese.
to be. I mean, listen.
She won a cow. I don't know.
All right, so
Part
the
of the
next
Herd
two,
now.
we've got Skylar Rimmer and James Posey left. I'm going to start with Skylar Rimmer. 7 years of NBA coaching experience, has won an NBA championship as a player development assistant with the Milwaukee Bucks in 2021. He spent the last 2 seasons as an assistant coach for the LA Lakers. But unfortunately, we saw how that thing kind of imploded, and now he's here with the Phoenix Suns, reunited with Coach Bud after 4 seasons together with the Bucks from 2018 to 2022, and 1 season with the Atlanta Hawks as an assistant video coordinator in 2017-2018. Unfortunately, I have no fun facts for Skylar, which is why I saved James Posey for last, because I do have a fun fact for him.
Okay.
James Posey, as we all know, 2-time NBA champion as a player, 1-time NBA champion as an assistant coach. He's got 20 years of NBA experience between being both a player and a coach. Most recently, he spent the past 2 seasons as an assistant coach with the Washington Wizards, and then before that was an assistant coach with the Cleveland Cavaliers from 2014 to 2019. Fun fact about our guy James Posey, aside from his basketball career, also made appearances in multiple movies. Yes, he had roles in films such as John Q and Breaking Point, showcasing his versatility and talent beyond the court.
That's just impressive.
John Q, that means he worked with Denzel.
I feel like I need stories from this as well.
I just want to hang out with Denzel.
I know, right?
Can I make a confession?
Yes.
What's that?
I made up my fun facts. There's no truth.
You son of a bitch.
There's no truth to either of my fun facts.
Oh,
I just don't want anybody walking up to Jason Allen and be like, so you dated Mrs. Scotch and Cheese? What's that like, man?
I'm so mad at you.
I am too.
I hold fun facts to be sacred, and you made a mockery of them.
And mine were legit. Yours were legit.
Where do you think I would have found out that Vince LaGarza dressed as Chuck E. Cheese?
I was like applauding your Google abilities, Espo. I thought you were just on that level.
I can tell you that Vince LaGarza has the worst headshot I've ever seen for a college basketball guy ever on the Miami University website.
I don't believe anything you say now.
I'll show you it.
We literally did 2 truths and a liar.
We did. Oh my God, we did.
That was a masterpiece.
Well, listen, we hope you enjoyed that brief, but, informative for the most part outside of Espo synopsis of Coach Bud's coaching
How can the
staff.
people trust you anymore?
Right?
They never did. Why would you trust me of all the people on this panel?
I was looking sideways at you when you brought up the Chuck E. Cheese thing, but you were saying it with a straight face.
You
so it's like,
were.
I'm not going to call
And I
him
did
out.
ask if it was a lie, and you doubled down on it, too.
This guy.
My goodness.
Unreal.
But
I mean,
yes,
how amazing would that be if he dressed as Chuck E. Cheese?
it would be great. I would have loved it. I would have had so many things to talk to him about.
I shouldn't have said anything. I'd love to imagine somebody walking up to Vince LaGarza being like, so Chuck E. Cheese.
I should have realized when your second fun fact was also cheese-based.
You should have.
That's a great point, Gerald.
You should
Shame
have.
on us for not putting that one
Should have
together.
snapped.
Dang. All right. Well, we'll get to see all of them out on the court this year, supporting the Suns and backing up Coach Bud on the sidelines. But we do have to wait a little while because Sun season just unfortunately is not here yet. But you don't have to wait for basketball because our PHNX Mercury takeover happening on August 26th is just around the corner. They'll be taking on the New York Liberty, and you can get your tickets right now at gophnx.com. Just click on the events tab. It's going to be an absolute blast. We're going to have food and drinks before with a pregame meetup, and then we're going to head out to the game and take it all in. So again, gophnx.com for your tickets there. And later this year, the PHNX Cardinals are going to be taking Miami with True Fan Travel to watch the Cardinals take on the Dolphins on October 27th. The whole trip is going to be epic. And if you want to get in on the action, head to truefantravel.com/trips to book your spot today. And of course, be on the lookout because more road trips brought to you by True Fan Travel are on the horizon. But this one's going to be a good one.
I'm going on that trip.
Are you?
And I'm going to put my name down for the hotel as LeBron James.
Oh,
Is that your next fun fact?
Yeah, or Dan Marino. It's a Miami related.
Put Ray Finkel.
Right.
There you go.
Finkel was anyways, not doing that.
Laces out.
Oh my goodness.
No, that'll be fun. Miami is like my favorite NBA city that I've traveled to, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that or New Orleans. I did love
Well,
New Orleans.
you and Devin have that in common, and we'll get to that next. But first, If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is driven by the search for better. And when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, but match with Indeed. So if you need to hire, like I said, you need Indeed. They are your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast, so you can ditch the busy work and use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. It also doesn't just help you make these moves faster. 93% of employers agree that Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. And right now, listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. Espo, what is that?
Indeed.com/AllCity.
That's right. And you can support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. That's Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire, you need Indeed.
You know what, though? The background checks and everything that they do.
It's pretty legit.
I almost once hired a criminal for a job when I was hiring until I found out by Googling the gentleman. So you need Indeed so you don't make an ass of yourself in the hiring process.
Like here?
No, not here.
Okay.
I hired the criminal. She said over there.
I'm about to say, I made it through, so we're chilling. Yeah.
So,
I've never been convicted.
Clipping that. 100% clipping that.
do you? I
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Not with this name, at least.
What a transition this will be.
You know how I do the Nookie Monster voice sometimes for
I do.
ads? This next partner explicitly said I can't.
They did. I was on the call.
It is the first partner
No
to
way.
ever explicitly say, do not do that for this ad.
I respect them.
And I can't tell you how much I want to do it on this Bet365 ad. It's never, it's never ordinary. Just like me doing ad reads or Lindsay doing crime. Apparently, Bet365 they don't do ordinary. They believe every sport should be epic, epic. Like none of this. No, everything should be. Every day should be epic, right?
Sure.
Or legendary. However you want it. I want it to be that. Right now, new customers can choose between two offers. It's a choose your own adventure with our friends at Bet365. I don't know why I went Lewis Black
The
there.
best adventures.
Choose your own adventure. You can choose between the bet and get and place a bet of $5 or more and get $150 in bonus bets. Or you can choose first bet safety net. Offer by placing a bet to $100 or $1,000, and if the qualifying bet loses, you're going to receive a match refund in bonus bets. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Guess what? It's not ordinary at Bet365. I got to say things 3 times
Always
so it sticks
3 times.
with you. And the early payout is my favorite thing when it comes to Bet365. We've talked about it in NBA basketball. If your team goes up by 20 points, doesn't matter if they go on a 20-0 run to start the game in the first 2 minutes. If you bet on them to win, whether it's in a parlay or a straight up bet, you're winning that no matter what happens in the actual game. It's just that easy. So download the Bet365 app and choose PHNX 365 as your code. Put it in there, and when you sign up, choose your offer and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Damn, I said it 4 times. Wow. Does that
You ruined it.
must be 21 and over and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov.
All right, let's dive into Devin Booker and D'Angelo Russell because Book joined D'Lo on his podcast. It's on his YouTube channel. You guys can watch it. It was a really cool episode. I believe Devin said it was a if you know kind of place. I think it was in Flagstaff. I think that's a pretty fair assumption to make.
No, Tempe Town Lake looked beautiful in that one.
With all those trees.
Scottsdale, all those pines, you know that.
Absolutely
right?
beautiful. And they had about an hour-long discussion just about a whole bunch of different things, but there were obviously some things that kind of stood out more than the others. And Devin shared a lot about, PJ Tucker and Tyson Chandler and how instrumental they were for him early on in his career. When it comes to PJ, like Espo, you and I, we saw that from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
The two of them just going head to head, every practice, every situation. PJ was just straight up busting Book's ass.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it just was what it was. And he shared a story about, because we all saw it in the practices. Well, me and you anyway.
Nobody else did, huh?
But he shared a story that it also happened when they were in Mexico City for the Global Games, which I was there, but I must have missed this kerfuffle, which is surprising because you know how much I love a kerfuffle.
Oh, you are queen of the kerfuffle.
I am, but apparently things got a little heated at an open practice, and then they went back to the hotel room on separate buses, PJ on one, Book on the other, to put a little space between them, and Book's walking down the hallway. And pops out PJ, and Book's like, all right, here it goes. I guess we're just going to finish the kerfuffle here in the hallway of the hotel room. But no, PJ grabbed him up and was like, listen, Rook, this is not the NBA. Like, you are built for more, basically. And was like, don't be all hot. Like, we're good. We're buddies. You're my Rook.
I felt like the insinuation was there's a bunch of scrubs around here, and I need to teach you what it's actually like
a little bit
to be an NBA guy. I mean, he always referred to Book as his Rook. I'm pretty sure his rookie year, PJ was the one that stuffed all the popcorn into his car.
Oh, yeah.
The one time I got
that.
on SportsCenter was a photo I had taken of that. I'll never forget that day because Book was pissed.
Was he?
I mean, it was a lot of every inch of his. I think it was a Dodge Charger at the time, souped up. Was jammed with popcorn.
Was it
Because it was buttered popcorn,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
from the
It was-
actual
yeah.
arena.
Oh, yeah.
See,
They
the
just-
buttered, that's...
For a car guy too.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
nails on a chalkboard.
So those, I mean, they had one of those. I'm gonna make sure you know you're a rookie or a young guy relationship. But yeah, PJ came from a good place in terms of wanting
I
to.
feel like that
toughen him up.
killed the pranks because that was the year before I got there,
Yeah.
and we weren't allowed to do any pranks after that. So
Oh, really?
thanks a lot, Espo.
I didn't.
I mean, it wasn't his popcorn.
I didn't come up with the prank. I didn't have anything to do with it. Like, I just happened to know. I heard about it, so I went out to the parking lot and got a good photo.
I mean,
of Book
hilarious.
finding out.
Yeah.
But I know years ago, it feels like at this point, we did have that conversation on this show about like how much credit you would give people for helping Book along in his career. I know we talked a lot about some of the coaches that have come through, Earl Watson being one of them, and just different players and people in Book's life who've helped him reach the levels he's reached now. And I think PJ Tucker is probably one of the players who's at the top of the list in my book for that. Also, just from like a physicality standpoint too, like they literally went at it on a regular basis. I know Saul talks a lot about how Book used to do that to Elie Okobo when they were teammates. And I think it was essentially a passing down of the lessons and how what happened to Book when he was a rookie and trying to get you to be able to take that, you know what I mean? And find ways to work around it because it's only going to make your game better.
Yeah, it's a welcome to the league moment before you get those against other competition. It's the thing that Book says all the time, iron sharpens iron. And PJ was one of those guys who really had to work, was a journeyman before he even made it to the NBA. So he understands how hard it is to get to that stage. And he saw greatness in Book from a very early chapter. Like, I wasn't a beat reporter that was around for practices and stuff like that back then, but just hearing the way that they would talk about each other in the locker room after games during that time period, it was pretty clear the respect and the way that Tucker, like a lot of these vets that came in, saw that greatness from him from day one and challenged him to try and bring out more of that from him.
Yeah, and I think some of it came from, PJ, obviously you mentioned the rough road. He was a first-round draft pick in Toronto, but then wound up playing in Puerto Rico and Germany and had a very long road back to the NBA. And honestly, only got back, I believe, because Lance Blanks was a fellow Texas guy, University of Texas guy, and took a chance on him, and it paid off big for both, for PJ in particular. And I feel like he looked at Book and was like, I don't want you to be one of those silver spoon kids, right? Where you just think you're everything. I want to make sure you benefit from the experience I had. And I think he truly did that. And I think one of the reasons Book probably had respect for him is because PJ followed a very similar path to Book's dad, Melvin, that, you know, in terms of his playing career. So that I'm sure that had part of it as well. There was respect there, you know.
Well, and I'm sure PJ probably saw the raw talent that Devin had too, right? And knew that the space with the Suns at that particular point in time obviously wasn't peak NBA basketball.
Wasn't even like mid-level.
And he wanted him to strive for more. Like, this is not what you should be settling for in the NBA.
Don't get wrapped up in this.
Exactly.
Shit. Yeah.
Yes. And that's huge because I do think in an alternate universe or alternate reality, like, shit could have gone a completely different way for Devin had it not been for, obviously, a lot of it comes from just his general, like his natural inclination to be great, but the people around him who pulled that out of him even more and pushed him to continue to strive in those areas. And PJ and Book didn't have a long time together. It was a year and a half because he got traded his sophomore season. So he didn't have like years and years with PJ. It was very instrumental in a small amount of time.
Well, and it would have been very easy to give into the toxic culture and the losing mentality with this team. But I think PJ, Tyson Chandler, early on, these guys that had been there, Tyson had reached that peak with a championship and a gold medal and those kind of things. I think neither of them wanted to let this kid, fall in the cracks that, maybe other guys could have in that kind of situation.
Yeah. So Joe in the chat brings up a good comment, said, it's wild that the NBA teams don't prioritize NBA vets as much anymore. That was something that they talked about in this podcast as well. And Tyson Chandler was one that they had brought up there. Just that, like, there's a lot of investment in the youth. And while that's important, who is investing in your youth, right? Like, coaches can only provide so much. It's different when you're getting it from somebody who's been there, done that, been through the thick of it. It just is. You know what I mean? Like, if you're getting advice from somebody who's on the outside, but like not in the thick of it, just on the edges, it's not the same.
Right.
You know?
No, it's not. And it's very different coming from a place of your teammate who you're in the thick of battle with all the time in practice, after practice, on the team bus, like all these different places. It's different coming from that perspective.
And if you want a real insight on that, that rookie year, I remember the Players Tribune did a rookie vet series, and it was Tyson and it was Book, and they interviewed him 5 or 6 times for that number of episodes throughout the season. And you can go back, you can still find them, and you get a real insight into young Book and what guys like PJ and Tyson were trying to help him with. I recommend watching it, just not while we're on.
Yeah, at like 4:30, you can do that. Another thing that keeps getting brought up in the chat too, Austin said, I'm glad Booker didn't go to Miami, LOL. Book did share that he thought he was going to Miami on draft night, said it was one of his better workouts. And while I am glad that it didn't work out for Miami and Book, I know Book probably would have thrived in Miami.
Oh, absolutely.
He loves that city.
Yeah.
Well, and let's be honest, his work ethic is very much the Heat culture mindset as well. I mean, to be fair, though, everybody thought Frank Kaminsky was coming here because they were in love with him. So, I don't blame him. He's a lovable dude. But
oh, yeah, he's a very lovable dude.
Basketball. Don't tell Frank I said that.
I don't feel bad for them, though.
I
don't pity them at all.
Sorry.
Because, not just because the Suns wound up with Book, but also because Heat Twitter for years was adamant that Justice Winslow was either better than Book or was going to be better than Book. And I just laughed every time that they said that.
The jury's still out,
It could still happen.
Maybe.
No.
About those alternate universes we were talking about.
Because Justice Winslow is technically still alive. So, like, they still have time.
Hey, he could have a great career in the Big Three.
Maybe.
Damn. I'm not trying to throw shade at Justice Winslow, but I am throwing shade at Heat Twitter because that was always ridiculous.
That's fair. But it was a cool conversation. If you guys haven't seen it, those are just some of the highlights of some of the things that he gave us insight to when it comes to the Suns.
And it's one of the most natural I've seen Book. He's obviously he's with his friend. He's in an environment in multiple places that he's comfortable with. And you really get to see Book, the guy that some of us on the inside saw, and we've seen more of that this summer.
I was gonna say, is he coming out of his shell?
I think a little bit.
Like, It kind of feels like he is. I understand he's got a whole team around him helping him with the content and stuff from the Olympics, but like he has to be wanting to do that or willing to do it for it to become a thing.
I think it helps with Nike going, hey, we got some shoes to move to.
That
Fair.
probably helps. But I also think Book is very particular about it has to be with people that he's very comfortable with.
Yeah.
Like the ones that we've seen have been D'Lo and JJ Redick, who are, you know, a friend and someone who's really good at what he does, who's also a former player.
Okay.
So,
do I have the one shot today
You
here,
don't.
Eric? Or
Poor
two
Gerald.
shots. Sorry, Gerald, you're in here. Book, I'm just going to say it. Why you ducking me on 2K rematch, huh? Look, you know, you can come on the pod or I can come to your place, Flagstaff or in the Valley. We play a little 2K and we have another conversation and we do it for the gram, for the content, my friend. I can help you move some shoes. I mean, people love that I'm wearing your shoes here. I think we can move more of them if you just rematch me. I know you're ducking me, so you won by 50 the first time. Doesn't mean I got better or worse. I mean, you can come try to do it again.
what was the final score? It was
I think
50?
it was 68-17 at half, and we
half.
quit.
I mean,
we
at least
quit.
you
hit it.
scored
Oh.
Yeah,
points.
So you got disqualified.
yeah. We just Book just said you should leave the chat now. That was basically what it was.
Bye.
You should not embarrass yourself.
So the
anymore.
goal is to just make it through a full 4 quarters.
I guess.
Hey, I mean, sure. Let's go, Book.
Okay.
I'm just imagining in a Nike marketing meeting, they're like, Book, what do you think we need to take this shoe to the next level? And he's like, I gotta call in the big guns.
My
Espo.
guy.
I gotta call in Espo.
The dude I mercy ruled in 2K.
Hey, the chat wants an Espo edition of the Book ones.
I supported
I don't know what the hell
What
they
would-
look
what
like.
Yeah,
look
what would
like?
they look like?
I don't know.
Purple and orange
I
combined.
think they would
Yeah.
have like interchangeable like swoosh colors.
Oh, to match the
Yeah.
glasses.
Okay, wait, that
Yeah.
kinda goes
That would be,
crazy.
that would be
Yeah.
actually pretty
Maybe,
cool.
Honestly, that would be kinda cool.
or the shoes made out of cake so I can eat it.
That too.
I mean,
Maybe go back to the
whole thing's edible, so I can
There
next
you
time
go.
I make
Yeah.
a
Decide
bet.
for real, for real.
Yeah.
Do we have a super chat, Eric?
We do have a super chat.
All right, we got a super chat from some guy named Justin, and they said, Espo, pet the furry shoes, mate.
No, I don't like that.
I don't understand. I'm confused.
There's fur on them because
Are
of the
there?
Havens. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
realize
it's
they had
supposed to be
fur on
Haven's
them.
fur.
I thought it was like a velvety
No,
thing.
It's not actually
like,
Haven's fur.
it
for
is
anyone.
actually. I got the ones with Haven's actual fur.
That's cool.
You're
not
I didn't
helping your
realize
case.
that.
I'm calling
Haven,
Peter.
Haven signed them too. It was Haven.
Oh,
Pretty cool.
Well, that was part of the
Definitely.
podcast too, just Haven chilling
Yeah.
Yeah.
there as well.
Yeah,
I thought that
he
was
was.
really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some good stuff.
Let me just say this though, rich people's golf practice ranges at their house much different than what I grew up
They're
with.
pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Totally.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know exactly where that golf range or course or wherever they were at is. I think it's up north. So if you're going to take a trip up there to try and find it, make sure you stop at Circle K first. I do know that for certain. And if you sign up as a part of their free membership program, you're going to save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, which will help for the road trip ahead. You save 3 cents per gallon every single day. And of course, if you're going to go on a road trip, you need snacks, you need drinks, the really important things in life. Right now, at any Arizona location through September 3rd, you can get a Polar Popper Froster for just 79 cents. But if you are part of that Inner Circle membership, you get it for just 69 cents.
Oh, that's nice.
I didn't like that one.
Nope.
I didn't like that.
You've already got 2 strikes, 1 more, and you're getting
I
muted.
feel like we're on 3 between the fun facts that weren't real, the petting the shoes.
Hey, I
And
got
now
asked.
this.
We got paid for me to pet the
There,
shoes.
we'll give you that
Okay.
one.
All right.
Don't let it
So
happen
you're still
again.
on 2.
All right.
But there are always specials and coupons in the Inner Circle app as well. So join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. And in case I haven't told you in a while, because I know I haven't, dark chocolate covered almonds from Circle K is where it's at.
I was disappointed. You didn't get those yesterday.
I didn't.
You
I
went
got
the
peanut
M&Ms.
M&Ms.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, to be fair, if you haven't looked for them before, you do have to try and find them.
So you didn't trust Derek to find
I didn't
them?
want to send him on a goose hunt because sometimes they're on the edge of like the aisle,
Okay.
and sometimes they're in the aisle, but they're not in the direct candy section.
Damn.
So I didn't want to make Derek spend like 5 minutes looking for these doggone almonds for
She
Lindsay.
legit just said, I don't think Derek's
That's
capable
not
of
what I
finding
said.
I
almonds.
don't trust
I
Derek of
didn't
doing my
say
Circle
that.
K shopping.
So somebody in the chat said the book 1 Espo editions should be a Cookie Monster, Nookie Monster
actually, that's not
kind
a
of
bad
thing.
idea.
Which my wife the other day goes, I was at Fry's, you're never going to believe this. She shows me, those claw machines?
Yes.
Shows me a picture of it. There is a purple Cookie Monster.
That is the Nookie Monster,
It
right?
is, exactly, the Nookie Monster. So I want fuzzy purple shoes. But the way I'm going to get that is I'm going to open a free checking account with our friends over at Desert Financial Credit Union, and then I'm going to put that $200 I'm getting straight into that machine until I win the damn thing.
I
good
support
use of
that.
the
That
money.
is
I
that is
actually
my
think
plan.
this is the greatest way to invest your
I
money.
need that.
Good content.
I'm talking about
I-
Desert Financial.
You know, I'm willing to pull a Lindsay and just smash and grab to get that thing.
There you go.
But our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union would prefer I use that $200 on the claw machine rather than bail money, because they've been in Arizona for 84 years. 84 years, and they love this community. They are invested in this community, literally and metaphorically. And our friend White Noise behind the Mac, Eric, his grandmother was customer number uno with them.
I thought it was
it's not
12.
that much of a joke. It's one of the first. I don't know if it's the
You
first.
need to find out what the actual number is, so I don't.
Unfortunately, my source is not able to be checked right now,
Oh,
so I
call the
can't do
bank.
that.
They'll tell you this info.
Hey, guys.
Max, we got something for you to do. They are experts committed to bringing you the best when it comes to your finances. They've got investment options. They've got credit cards. They've got loans. They've got the checking accounts and the saving accounts. Whatever you need when it comes to your money, they are here to help you. So join a credit union that's committed to giving back to the community and sharing success with its members. But like I said, when you open a free checking account online, you're getting $200 in bonuses, and you can spend that however you want, even if you want to spend it at a claw machine trying to get a Nookie Monster. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200.
Okay, so I know yesterday we told you guys that we were going to do the superhero Team USA matchup tomorrow, but we changed our mind. We're doing it today. Yay!
Hell yes. And I'm gonna be running this.
To piss Gerald off.
She really is. We've already preliminarily discussed these things, and I was already starting to get heated. But
Okay.
I am running this as the resident nerd here.
Oh.
So
Okay. Okay.
So aggressive to start.
why
that
is anyone
offends
taking
me.
issue with my?
That offends me. Why? Can we not be co-resident nerds?
I mean, we can if you
Okay.
want,
I
but
just
you
wanna
can't
be
ever give me
included.
shit for Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or any of those
Well,
things.
I can
that
give
fit
you shit
within
that
there.
I don't like them, but
Okay. All right.
I mean that's not my corner of nerddom.
Okay, that's fair.
You know?
What is your corner?
I mean,
if we had to define it.
superheroes, 80s television,
Sesame Street.
Sesame Street,
I'm
weird
really good at
voices.
Is this a nerd corner or a children's corner? I'm
I
trying
mean,
to
one and the
decide.
same.
Okay,
I mean,
80s sitcom seems like it wouldn't be child appropriate.
80
Well-
sitcoms, most of them no.
Yeah.
Not when you
Probably
look
not.
back on them.
All right, what you got for us, Gerald?
All right. So what we are going to do is we're going to go through each member of Team USA and figure out who their superhero would be within the MCU, within Marvel.
You guys, tell us what you think in the chat.
because we
too.
are going to argue about some of
We
these.
are.
So
Oh,
the
hell
first
yes.
one, we'll get the obvious out of the way after Book's quote the other day. Captain America's KD. He's the all-time leading scorer for both men and women's Olympic basketball for Team USA. So that one's kind of a given. Are we good with that?
Yes.
We okay with
That
that?
one we can
100%.
all agree upon.
All right.
The
Now,
only one.
now we immediately get
Maybe.
contentious because we're going to LeBron James. There are two arguments that we came up with here. So one is Iron Man, because both are billionaires. Iron Man and Captain America were kind of the two main faces of the MCU, just like LeBron James and Kevin Durant were for years. Iron Man's kind of the guy. So there's that argument for LeBron James. Wolverine is the other one, just because he is also another very popular name. And like Wolverine, LeBron James seems to be a cyborg who just never gets injured.
Yeah.
He always heals up. He takes tremendous care of his body, even though Wolverine kind of doesn't. He gets the shit kicked out of him, but he always heals. He always
Well,
comes
yeah,
back.
I mean, yeah,
He's always healthy. So
except
Iron Man
except
or Wolverine.
in Deadpool.
well, yeah. Well, yes. In that one.
So, like, I get Iron Man.
Mhm.
I get it. I'm
Mhm.
fine with it.
You
I
don't
just
like
think
it.
Iron Man sucks, and I don't think LeBron sucks.
That is a crazy thing to say out loud.
He's kind of a jerk.
No.
And I don't I just feel like he's
man.
an unlikable person, and I don't think LeBron fits that side of Iron Man.
Oh, do you not? Have you not? If you like Michael Jordan, LeBron James is a villain to you.
I get that, but I don't genuinely think, like, I understand why people dislike LeBron, but I feel like you're just being a hater, to be completely honest, because he's
I feel that way about what you said about Iron Man.
Please. Totally different.
Iron Man is like one of the most likable characters in the MCU. They're literally bringing Robert Downey Jr. back as a villain now because it's Robert Downey Jr. and people were like, the MCU is kind of sucking without him. We need to bring him back somehow.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr., not Iron Man.
But he was Iron Man.
What do we think maybe he could be? I'm throwing a curvebeball here, and Lindsay might like this one. Could he be Thanos? Has all the
We're
rings.
not doing villains.
Yeah,
We're not
like-
doing villains.
Lindsay would claim he's not a villain.
Thanos is not a villain.
I know. That's why we're ignoring her, because she doesn't know how to differentiate
Let's be honest.
I know perfectly well how to differentiate.
Let's be honest. Twice, at the snap of a finger,
Facts.
he destroyed the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Jesus. Cleveland Cavaliers.
Fine, LeBron can be Iron Man. I just want it on record that I don't like Iron Man, but I do like LeBron.
That's crazy. All right, so we got LeBron as
Are
Iron
you okay
Man.
with that?
Oh, I agreed with it what he originally said.
Fine,
All right.
whatever.
That was just to placate you, to be honest.
Okay.
All right, so Steph Curry. I have him as Thor because we've got Kevin Durant, LeBron James. Those are some of the original Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man. We needed someone to be an original Avenger in Thor. He was one of the OGs. Also, God of Thunder, Steph Curry makes it rain. They go hand in hand. He's very popular. He's really well liked. Like, there aren't a lot of people that dislike Steph Curry or Thor. Thoughts and any alternatives if you don't like it.
He's also a cutie pie, and so is Thor, so that works. I'll roll with Thor for Steph Curry.
I'm going to say Black Widow.
What? Why?
Because came from not the typical route to becoming a star or a member of the Avengers, right? Just not the superpowers physically like everybody else has. I think he just comes and does the job, does it well, and is an original member of the Avengers that is one that you wouldn't have expected if I had told you it happened when he was in Davidson or like Black Widow when she was in Russia.
I just feel like Steph Curry's too big of a star to be Black Widow.
That's fair. Austin and Enslow say that Steph is Spider-Man.
Too old at this point.
Eventually, Spider-Man gets older.
Eventually.
As
Not
time
if they
goes
keep
on.
rebooting the movies, he doesn't.
We also have a vote for Hawkeye and Winter Soldier.
Okay, you can't make him Hawkeye.
So, yeah, Hawkeye we'll save for later and for specific reasons that may or may not be insulting.
Because he is so, like, those are the three. Like, those three guys, Katie, LeBron, and Steph.
Right.
You got to have them in the top three. So I get your point.
So Thor's like the third guy in that category.
Fine. You can have Thor.
What's the Fantastic Four? Johnny
Storm?
Storm. Like, turns hot at a snap of a finger. Like,
that's actually a good one.
But Johnny Storm's just kind of an asshole. Like, he's kind of a...
I would categorize
I
Steph
categorize Steph as that because he was supposed to be his son and wasn't.
Well,
but
that wasn't on him.
Yeah, but still, all right.
Okay,
All right, so
Thor's
we'll
fine.
stick with Thor. Devin Booker, we discussed this the other day, and after reconvening, we had trouble coming up with anyone that's better than Black Panther just because Black Panther is so freaking cool. He's got the aura. He's a little bit underrated, to be honest. It just seems to match there. Any objections?
I have the objection that I told you about last week. I really think he's new Captain America, right? He's next
What do you mean,
in line.
new Captain America?
I'm just gonna say it.
Is
I
there
think
a
he's
new
next
one?
in line. I think he's the Falcon right now,
But
with the opportunity to become the next Captain America.
See, I get what you're getting at with that, but I do think that new movie's going to suck, and I don't want to set our guy up for failure.
I don't know the movie yet, right? All I know is the past, and
We
the
saw the
Falcon was
trailer.
somebody that was willing to serve his country and do whatever was possible and soared higher than anybody expected him to.
Yeah,
That's Devin Booker.
but
And then give him the shield in 4 years or 8 years.
Could you make an argument that Devin's like a Star-Lord? Or no?
How so?
I don't know. Because he's like the cool guy.
I love it. I love it.
You know what?
The
No,
retro
but-
things.
but
Yeah.
He's got a whole
Star-Lord's too out
squad
there.
with
That's
him
fair.
of cool people too.
Star-Lord is kind of a dope and too out there. Book is very methodical.
But there are parts of Star-Lord that are like, I'm gonna follow the rules, but I'm also gonna do it differently.
I mean, if I like that, but if you could combine Star-Lord with Drax's attitude, because Drax just doesn't seem to care, and I feel like Book's got that.
But Drax
like,
is also just like dumb.
He's
hilarious.
I'm
but
saying
he's dumb.
attitude, not
I get it. I'm sticking with Black Panther. I don't know.
I think I'm good with rolling with Black Panther.
Okay.
I just think I wanted to throw out the Star-Lord thing because there are some similarities.
I like the retro point. The point about his, he's got his mixtapes. Book has his camcorder.
Yeah.
So I get that part of it. This is where things start to get really.
Hold on a second. I love you. I got to stop here for a second. Leo says, like I've told you all for years, PHX Suns are Guardians of the Galaxy. Lindsay is Mantis, Espo is Drax, Gerald is Quill, Saul is Groot, Flex is Rocket. Why the hell?
great.
You just said Drax is dumb, and then I just get called dumb.
Okay.
I'm Rocket, who says anything at any time and is hairy. Like, that's me, all right?
I kind of low-key love Drax, though.
Drax is great.
His story
He's
arc
hilarious.
has been phenomenal.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, but you don't low-key love me, so that doesn't
And
work.
Mantis is
So see, it still doesn't work.
Yeah, the
Mantis
audience
is
is too high on
adorable.
Drax for that to be Espo. For sure.
Get bent.
That's
Wait,
crazy.
who's Star-Lord in this? That's the Drax.
I can't. I hate
You're
that we made that
Star-Lord?
a sound.
Yeah.
bite. I'm
Gerald, why does
Star-Lord.
Gerald get to be the leader? That's BS.
You're Mantis.
Yeah.
Mantis
I'm
is
gonna-
great.
Whatever she does.
Whatever she does. Can I hear that
Something to do
sound
with touch,
effect
right?
again?
I don't know if I can
No,
do it
not
again.
you. Not you on the sound effect.
Wait, you don't want this one again?
Fuck yeah.
I regret that cold open from yesterday immediately. Moving on. Drew Holiday. All right. So I have a couple of different options here. We have Ant-Man because Drew Holiday is small, but he is strong as hell. He packs quite a punch there. I have Spider-Man as well for similar reasons. And then Rocket, another small guy who, I mean, he fucks shit up. Like,
He
Rocket's
does.
pretty cool.
I think Rocket is cool.
So which
I
of those
think
three?
Ant-Man makes the most sense, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, plays much bigger than he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's strong
Seems
as hell.
Seems to have a good personality.
Mhm.
Good
I feel
role
like
player.
we got to roll with Ant-Man.
Excellent
Doesn't
role player.
age just like
Doesn't
Paul
age
Rudd.
just like Paul Rudd. Yeah. Okay. So that wasn't as contentious as I thought it would be.
No.
All right. So
This one will be.
this one will be because we came up with
Unless
like
you're on
fucking
my
5
team.
different ones for Anthony Edwards here. So I made an argument for Spider-Man because he is pretty much universally well liked. He has a little bit of a mouth on him. And the MCU for a little bit was setting up Spider-Man to be the guy to carry them forward. A lot of people are setting up Anthony Edwards to be the face of the league moving forward. I think that's a little premature on my end. But there's Spider-Man. There's also Deadpool, who very similar. You can shake your head all you want, but
He's not
the
Deadpool.
trash talking, they're like hand
I
and
love
glove
Deadpool,
fit
and
together.
Ant can get bent. So
threw out Venom.
Again, a
for
villain.
Ant.
So
You
irrelevant.
said
I
you
think
said
it's
Venom
not
is
a
an
villain.
anti-hero, and is not Deadpool an anti-hero?
I said he was a villain.
Okay, well, everyone
I
in the
think-
Discord agreed with me that he's an anti-hero.
No, here's
as a
the
Lease.
here's the settling. It's the Spider-Man. I think it was like 3 or whatever, where he gets taken over by the symbiote, and it's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man,
I
but with
still-
an attitude.
I still think Deadpool's the best one for Ant. Like, he's popular as hell. He's crass as hell with his trash
As
talking.
Kev said, he can be Deadpool because he be yapping.
Yep.
he's Loki.
Loki.
Yeah, because he's a villain in my mind. You know, will
Yeah.
open his mouth and do things, say things that can cause trouble. And yeah, he's the god of mischief.
Okay, I like the God of Mischief part, but I have to ask you, if he is a villain like Loki, does he also have a redemption arc coming like
Yeah,
Loki?
when he comes to Phoenix,
Stop it.
play with
Exactly.
Devin and Kevin.
Right.
There's his redemption arc.
Stop.
All right.
We're going to have to put this one to a vote because
Yeah, let's put this one as a vote, a poll in the chat, Eric. Who are we going? We're going to go Spider-Man, Deadpool,
Loki.
Loki. Hello, what about Venom? Rude.
So anyway,
We'll put that one in the chat. We'll come back to it.
all right. So this next one for Joel Embiid. I had originally said Hulk just because of body type and size and the fact that when the Hulk is on, it's unfair. It's an unfair advantage. You guys threw out an alternative that's better and funnier and more disrespectful.
It's the best
It's
one of
so
all of
Hold on.
these.
PHLY, this is exactly when you should tune in. Gerald?
Fat Thor.
Because
because he's still Thor. He's
still
still
Thor.
the god of thunder. I know we already
He
used
can
Thor,
wield it-
but
he
he's
can wield
still
the hammer.
Thor. But he's also kind of like this Team USA version
He
of him. It's
just a
not.
little chunky.
It's not Thor at his best.
He's just a little drunk.
He needs he needs the come up. He needs the glow up again.
Sorry, Philly.
So
I mean, honestly, I would be good with either one.
Yeah.
The Hulk is obviously a more respectful answer.
Is
Chunky
hold
drunk
on.
Thor is the funnier answer
Is it
here.
though? Is
Yes.
Hulk?
yes.
Like Hulk is somebody that cannot control his emotions whatsoever. Like
Well-
he destroys more than he fixes, right?
JoJo Smash.
Like
I don't know.
Trust the
I just
process,
think it's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll leave it to you guys
I mean,
to decide on this
Lester
one.
is very anti-Joel. Joel is no Hulk.
Okay.
Kev said Mr. Fantastic. Who's that?
He's from the Fantastic Four, the guy that can like extend his body.
Nah,
and
Oh.
stretch.
he's too durable.
Yeah.
He's too
Yeah.
durable.
I think we go Chunky Drunk Thor.
Chunky Drunk Thor it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I think I could use the Hulk somewhere else.
Well, that's good
Coming up
because we
next.
can apply Hulk to the next guy as well.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is our next option. I said Groot originally
And I don't like
because
that.
I know you don't, but Groot makes sense because Groot is literally a tree with limbs that extend all over the place. Anthony Davis, a defensive menace who will block and steal the ball and deflect and do all that fun stuff. Also, like, I don't know.
Groot gets broken a
Groot
lot.
doesn't have a unibrow, does he?
No.
We
I
could
don't
add
think so.
one.
I don't think he has any brows.
No.
Groot is just like a sweet baby angel. And I don't think AD gives off sweet baby angel vibes.
So he's a sweet baby angel when he was little guy.
No, always.
I mean, kind of,
always.
but he also was a dick when he was a teenager. There, he had the teen phase where he was playing
Yeah,
his
that
video
doesn't
game and not
count.
paying attention to anybody.
Let's just
I don't know. I think I would rather give AD the Hulk
no.
and save
Who
Groot
do,
for
who
my
do you
next
like
guy.
for AD?
Okay, I
Mm.
have to leave the Marvel universe for this one.
Well,
But
now we're
stay
just-
stay in the superhero cinematic universe, and I also believe it was a graphic novel. But
Mhm.
there's only one man in a superhero world that Anthony Davis can be,
I'm
Who?
concerned.
Mr. Glass.
I'm,
Oh, no.
Mr. Glass.
I knew we were going there.
Because at some point,
I knew we were going
yeah,
there.
he's Mr. Glass.
Enslow said, does PHNX even watch comics? Gerald does. I just
You don't
sometimes
watch
do.
comes. You read comics. You watch comic book movies.
I
Yeah,
was-
Enslow,
I
good
was-
stuff.
I was going to ask that follow-up question, Enslow. Well, to your point, Mr. Glass, Groot, he like got blown up at the end of the
I'll
first
give you
movie. He
that.
had to regenerate.
I'll give
Anthony
you that.
Davis has to do that.
I just
Yeah.
think the next one should be Groot.
Okay, well we'll talk. We'll leave
And AD
Anthony
should be
Davis
Hulk.
hanging for a minute because next is Bam Adebayo.
He should be Groot.
Groot's a good option for him. I put possibly Daredevil just because Daredevil is really dope and kind of underrated, and I feel the same way about Bam Adebayo. And we already used Ant-Man, so we can't use Ant-Man for him as far as a guy that can defend both bigs and smalls.
So, it's what you start.
I could see Daredevil, but
Mhm.
he's blind, so that has to be the refs, right? The refs have to be Daredevil.
That's fair.
fair. Okay.
Yeah, I
So-
think Groot makes sense.
I
for
think
Bam.
Groot should be Bam because Groot is super likable. Everyone loves Bam.
That's fair.
Bam also could come in with a Groot arm and just bully everybody out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just think Groot, for me,
Mhm.
and Bam, they go
They
more
go-
hand in hand with one
Okay,
another.
so Hulk is Anthony Davis and Groot is Bam.
I'm
Yeah,
happy
because
there if you're okay with it.
Groot
Okay.
has the heat culture mentality. Man, a
Mhm.
few words, goes out there and takes care of business.
Yeah, that's
You
fair.
know?
I
Okay,
like it.
I like that. All right. Now we're getting into some strange territory here.
Lester says he's Blade.
Blade.
I mean, he is pretty cool. I like that. Jason Tatum, Doctor Strange, or Captain Marvel, and I included both for the same reason. They are, of their own volition, very powerful. They're very good at what they do, but the Avengers kind of just keep on racking up W's without them a lot of the time,
Is there an Avenger
which
that
is Team USA
that
right now.
has invisibility as a power? It just
Stop it.
disappear?
Stop it. You took it to a more disrespectful place.
Who's
Is
an
it?
Who's an Avenger that just sits out a lot? Like, doesn't get minutes with the group. You know?
Isn't the Marvel person supposed to be like the most powerful ever of
Captain
all time?
Marvel's super powerful.
Yeah, no, don't give that to Jason.
But no,
Then
but she
go.
does disappear. She goes away.
That's what I'm saying.
And she's in space. It doesn't have. I like that.
The Avengers learn to
Disappear.
win without her.
Yep, totally disappears. I'm there.
But
I
that's
think-
also kind of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I think Doctor Strange. You don't give him all the superpowers.
Yeah.
That's too much.
I mean, Doctor Strange is kind of like super powerful also, though. So I don't know.
Tatum's Hawkeye on a great team, but isn't needed.
We'll get to him. Okay, so which way we're leaning there?
I don't know enough about either of these ones, so you pick. But I don't love the idea of them being the greatest superhero of all time, which, from what I'm understanding, is the Marvel character,
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, right?
I mean, she should be the most powerful, probably.
I don't love that.
I don't either, but she's also Tatum
being a
also is one of the most powerful superheroes in the league because he plays with so much talent. That's different from Captain Marvel, I feel like. I don't know. Let's lean Doctor Strange for
Okay.
now.
Deal.
I'll deal with
We'll
that.
do the middle ground here. Derek White, I just put with Winter Soldier because he's, efficient, very good role player, comes in, does his thing. Not an A-lister by any means, probably a C-list superhero,
Will
but
never
people
be
know
Captain
him.
America.
Yeah.
I like Derek White.
I like him too. And
Is
I like the Winter Soldier.
Good? I don't know.
Yeah, he's
anything
good. He's
about
the
Winter
dude with the
Soldier.
metal arm.
Okay.
We good with that?
I think that's good.
And he used to play for the Spurs, and Winter Soldier used to be a Russian sleeper agent. So it's like the same. They came from a bad place and went to a
Him and
better one.
Pop, right?
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. All right, last one. Finally, Hawkeye. Tyrese Halliburton. That dude has the vision. He has the skills. He's
Blessings.
incredibly good at what he does. He's a lot of fun. On this team, he's kind of the guy with the bow and arrow. Fair?
Thanks for being here.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Like he's a sniper. He's got
Yeah,
the vision.
yeah,
That's true.
It's great.
We'll let you in when everything else is taken
You're
care
not
of.
But
wrong.
he's kind of
You're
the
not wrong.
window dressing for this team. It's fine.
Okay, so Kev said Jason Tatum, going back to, because we're all
Uh-huh.
on board with Hawkeye and
Yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Mhm.
Kev said Tatum is the human torch. He can be on fire sometimes.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. I like
Yeah.
that one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the poll
Oh,
for
Ant?
Anthony Edwards. Yes. And then maybe we'll see if we want to swap out one of those.
And
for
we
Jason
should
Tatum.
acknowledge that we knew that the Ant-Man thing was right there, but other than the nickname, they literally have nothing in common.
Yeah.
So we
What'd they
bypassed it.
say?
So leading the way at 46%
Oh, wow.
is Deadpool.
Yeah.
29% say Spider-Man. 24% say Loki.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that decides it then.
Okay, well then Anthony
Deadpool.
Edwards is Deadpool.
So we don't have a Spider-Man.
We don't
Are we
have-
okay
should
with
we make
do
Jason
Yeah.
Tatum
We should make
Spider-Man?
Jason Tatum Spider-Man.
I
for-
think
Sure.
Steph is more Spider-Man than Jason Tatum.
Okay,
How
there
so?
were people arguing that they think that Spider-Man is more of the big three with Captain America and Iron Man than Thor.
I think Steph is
no,
more.
Thor's one of the OGs. Like, I know Spider-Man is obviously the biggest hero overall, but like,
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about, right? Like overall.
yeah, but Thor's like, I don't know, man. I can't get the whole Splash Brother long range shooter with the long range lightning that Thor's summoning from the sky.
I'll give you Thor.
Okay.
Somebody in the chat wanted to know who Kawhi was, and I think it's the entire Fox,
All of
universe,
their heroes, yeah.
because they meant something in the mid 2000s still, and not anything now.
Yeah.
They've forgotten at this point.
I don't
Yeah,
know, Gerald. I
Kawhi.
think you're kind of the chat might be not on your side about Spider-Man and Thor right now.
How so?
They want you to swap up. They think Steph should be Spider-Man and Thor should be Jason Tatum.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a tough one.
By the way,
We might have to
I
put
feel
it
like
to
we're
a
making
vote.
Jason Tatum more powerful because Jason Tatum on this Team USA team is not Thor. Gotta tell you.
Emma wants to know how long you thought about this.
Oh, probably like 20 minutes, which was 20 minutes too long. But
shout out to Dagoon, who's completely right.
Hmm.
Deadpool is clever, Ant is not.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that.
All right. Well, we're going to roll with this, I think, for now. And we'll put it out there maybe on social and see what you guys all think. Maybe we'll do a poll and see how far off we were. We got KD as Captain America. LeBron James as Iron Man. Steph as Thor. Book is Black Panther. Drew Holiday is Ant-Man. Joel Embiid is Chunky Drunk Thor. Ant Edwards is Deadpool. AD as the Hulk. And Bam Adebayo as Groot. Jason Tatum as Spider-Man. Derek White as Winter Soldier. And Tyrese Halliburton as Hawkeye. I'm not mad at any of them.
I'm pretty happy with
I'm
the way
actually
this...
pretty happy with these. I'm glad that you gave me Bam as Groot.
Yeah.
That was the biggest hill I wanted to die on.
I love the fact that Devin Booker threw some random comment out, and then we spent 20 minutes with, and somehow Gerald and I are like, this is the greatest idea we've ever had on this program.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I liked it.
No,
well, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We really appreciate you all. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you're here on YouTube. Rate, review, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, follow the show on social at PHNX_Suns. We'll be back again tomorrow. Team USA plays again against Serbia. So don't miss that one. Meet us here at 3 p.m. And until we see you then, you can also give me a follow on social at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget, and you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
Shout out to my man, Buddha the Schizo. Had surgery yesterday, is recovering well, and I saw him in the chat. So thanks for being here. Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.